the title, I'm making the trans mount for the Miata. If you knew. Alright, let's talk about the Miata. It is my K24 93 Mazda Miata. It started its life as a 1.6, and then I went turbo, and then I was like, this is boring, let's do something cool. So I put the K24 in it. Made it awesome. Very cool, 8,500 RPM rev limiter, but it destroys 5 speeds. I think I went through like 3 of them, and I'm sick of it. The goal with the Miata was to make more power eventually with the K24. Well, I want to go turbo, and the stock Miata drivetrain will not do that. It will explode. I picked up a TF Works turbo manifold and a Collins CD009 swap kit for the K24, and I have to fab a bunch of cool stuff. I forgot, also, the V8R rear end, the 8.8 IRS from V8R, I said that already, is already installed and in the car. I'm waiting on my Zarek Fab rear knuckles that are a drop knuckle, which also has camber adjustment, and it is a dual caliper knuckle, which is pretty cool. Other than needing a trans mount that I'm about to fabricate in this video, I also need to get a drive shaft made, which I've yet to figure out what company to bring it to, because it doesn't move yet. So once it's on the ground and I have all my other suspension stuff done, it will get that, a drive shaft. Enough talking, let me show you the vehicle. Here is my Miata K24 GTX 3076R. It is an eBay turbo. Wah, cry about it later. TF Works baller ass manifold. Had to notch the frame for it to fit because this is for a 240. They don't make one for a Miata. So had to notch the frame. It will be getting boxed. This is only being held on by a couple bolts. These are finger tight and they're not, finger tight. It will be getting removed and I will be boxing it in. But today, where's the metal? There's that piece for the sides, and this is going to be the main structure of the trans mount. I've already got it marked where I need to cut it. Let me show you under the car. So we're underneath the car. I got the, Monster Miata frame rail braces. They were the cheapest and will do the same job as all the other ones. Trans is being held up by a jack stand, or jack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a trans mount that it's going to solid mount the trans in the car from that frame rail to this frame rail, and it's going to bolt right up there. So here we go. So for this part, you're going to make sure you got your safety squints on. The fuck do I need these? Your safety squints, and yeah, a saw. One trip to the hospital later, I had to get my finger sewed back on, and I got my beginning of my trans mount ready to go. Fart. Yeah, boy, look at that. It fits pretty decent. Over there, well, it's not gonna get welded to the car like this. It's gonna have little plates that's gonna bolt to, but that's the beginning of it. Yeehaw. As you all saw in the last video, there was a considerable gap between the mount, or the cross brace piece, and the actual transmission. So what I'm going to do is cut the big long piece I had in 6-inch sections, since it's 1 inch thick, and stack 2 pieces on top. And then I will have a clearance of what I want the transmission to sit at. Let me show you. Here, if I didn't explain it good enough, I'm going to cut sections of that in 6-inch long pieces, and I'm going to weld them in the center section here, and then raise it up so it will be kind of like a weird looking pyramid shape up to the transmission. By no means is this the right way of doing it, but it is the only way, and the only way that is feasible for me to do it. So that's how it's going to be done. So in the words of automotive journalists, or whatever you'd like to call them, that I look up to, David Freiberger of Roadkill. Don't get it right, just get it running. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what the heck we're gonna do today. Just get it running. Ta-da! Y'all get the idea. I'm gonna let this cool down because I just burnt my hand touching it. And then we're gonna weld it together. Safety first. As you can see, I messed up. I need to make a third one. So I'll make a third one and it'll go in there and it'll look nice and ghetto like that. I'm gonna take the flat piece I have over there and make an L that comes down and under and then welds to here, straight out, and I'm gonna put a nut and a bolt, and that's how it's gonna get bolted in, nice and solid and vibrator machine. Well, got another one. Doesn't sit quite flush, but you know, it'll do. So I get it welded up in there, and yeah. Brown. Again, make sure you break out your safety squints for this. You know, really permanently damage your eyes and all the sweat. So make sure you got your safety squints. Yeah, forget to turn the fan off too, that's blowing the weld splatter back at you. Now that I got the weld splatinator off of me, we're ready to tack this up. Uh-huh. Look at weld splatter all over me. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. Definitely. That's hot. It's gonna be so much fun drilling through all of that and getting it precise, which it's probably not going to be, but is it gonna work? Yes. Remember, when you're welding, you want a nice clean surface, so make sure you get this nice and cleaned off before you weld to it. I am by no means a professional welder. I have a flux core Harbor Freight piece of shit that I've had for like 8 years, so I don't want to hear it in the comments. Leave me the fuck alone. Thanks. So you can do pretty decent with Harbor Freight. That's not terrible. Now we just got to do 3 more of those on each side. So these are ungrinded on. I don't even know if that's a word. I did not grind on these. I mean, it's alright for flux core, I guess. This side's got, this side, the first side was a little. All I did was just this, just to get the flux like bullshit it leaves on there. I mean, there's a bunch of fucking splatter on there. Wire wheel that off, but I mean, those welds aren't terrible. I think they'll hold. Just mark the holes, ignore these. This one and this one. Where it's gonna mount to the transmixer. I'm about to drill them out. Yes. Don't forget your safety squints. So basically, I took a, whatever the fuck you call that drill bit, I made a big hole, and then I drilled a bunch of little holes all the way through, which go all the way through and then that's where the long bolt is going to go through to the transmission. I countersunk this so the bolt won't just be flush out here and get caught on shit when I bottom out inevitably and go off track or whatever. So yeah, so I countersunk it big enough to get a socket in there and tighten it down. And yeah, it took for fucking ever to do that one side. Now I get to do it on the other side. Kind of halfway started, but it's a pain in the ass, so yay, fun. Almost there. A few more holes to drill, and it'll look like this side, hopefully. It's taking forever. Wish I had a drill press, but I doesn't. So here's the final product. Got 2 holes drilled at the top, going to the trans. 2 holes in the bottom. I open these up so I can recess the bolts into there. And yeah, can you tell it's like 5:30 in the morning and I worked all night on this stupid shit? Yeah, this took way too long. Yeah, don't look at it too long, you'll hate it. Anyway, trans mount. I gotta make the L piece that'll go over the frame on this side, and we'll bolt through here and then weld to the frame, the L will, and then the 2 bolts will go through there. But yeah, we're not there quite yet, but we'll get there soon. Tomorrow night. I gotta go to bed. So I took a break from the trans mount, had to go get some bolts. They're a lot longer now. Oh, okay. They're a lot longer now. I'm probably gonna need to put a couple washers on there to space that out till about there. Also, I was working on the intercooler. I got it mounted. Stop. Don't. Just don't. Don't. And then, so yeah, it'll come up here, and then I got a aluminum 90 steel, aluminum? I don't know, whatever. 90, it's gonna 90 out here. I'm gonna cut this off there, weld it. And then a 2" to 2.5. Here, I gotta chop this and add a crimp to it. And then I got a 2.5 to a 3. 3 there. And then yeah, there we go. I have to, chop the hood there for it to fit. But yeah, it'll do. Here's the trans mount bolted in, nice and flush with this side. Same with the other side. I just gotta make the L pieces now that come down, go under, and then we'll bolt through there, and we'll be good. I'm now going to try and bend this 1/4 inch plate at a 90-degree angle at that mark, and you're gonna come with me. Well, I put it in the vise and I went to whack it with a sledgehammer. Well, let's just say it broke the vise and then the table fell over, and this didn't bend at all. I need to find somebody with a metal brake. All right, let's give this a shot. All right. So no metal brake means heat it and beat the fuck out of it.
Yeah, get them heated up a little bit more.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
And we gotta do this again. Yay. I thought for a second you were gonna let it fall and hit you in the foot. I was like looking at it, I was like, that's gonna fall. This is what a nice, good bend looks like. This is not what a good bend looks like. Not good at all. Yeah, nice and fixed. Fix that crack. Let's see the other side. Yeah, good shit. So, here is the L piece. 90 degrees almost. It's like 88. I gotta bang it in a little bit more. But I gotta cut it shorter because it's too long. I made a mark here. And I'm gonna grind it down a little bit. Same with this one. It's got a fuck ton of marks. So I'm gonna grind it down so it doesn't look so ugly. And I'm gonna cut it too. And this one's the one that cracked. We had to weld back together. I don't know if you see this. I had to weld it back together on both sides. This one's more of a 90 than the other one is. But they're too tall. From here to here, I gotta trim this down a little bit. Safety first, children. Finished cutting it. Is it straight? No. Do I care? No. So on this one, I'm gonna have to grind the welds down in the middle because it's not sitting flush to the frame. As you can see, there's a big thick bead there. So yeah, I have to grind that down, and then it'll fit better. A grinder and paint makes Shaw the welder he ain't. Yeah, it looks better. So here's the final thing. This is gonna get welded to the frame, like that. And there's gonna be bolts that go up through the bottom of this bar here, go up to the top, and get bolted in. I did not get long enough bolts, so I cannot finish welding this in and bolt that up in there. But I will get new bolts tomorrow and finish it up and then show you guys. Yeehaw. Hey, so I just got the transmission mount all bolted up and mocked up underneath there, and I'm about to show you guys what it looks like. So, this is what it's gonna look like. I gotta trim those bolts because they're way too long, hanging way too low. This is gonna weld to the frame right there. Same exact thing on the other side. And the transmission will be fully mounted in the car. All right, just finished welding it up there. I know my welds aren't the most spectacular, but they will do fine. Got to lower it for the first time, so it's either gonna break, rip out of the car, or it's gonna hold the transmission up. Let's see. Take the jack. Listen, there you go. Jack's off. Yeah. Let's give it some tugs. Let's see what it does. That's looking pretty dang stout. Doesn't look like it's bending at all. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, not the solid part, but that will get bushings eventually. But for now, that's what we're working with. I know it looks like there's a little bit of a gap, but there's not actually. I had to put a little bit of a spacer in there because the transmission's tilted sideways because of the way the K24 mounts. But it is good. And that is transmission installed in the car. Now we just need a whole bunch of other shit. So that is the CD999 mounted in the Miata. What's left? Well, I need a drive shaft, my rear knuckles need to come in, and I'm waiting on my poly bushings. Other than that, it's fuel system, finish up the intercooler piping, and it's time for a tune. So we're getting pretty close. I say it's about a month or so away before bug attacking me. About a month or so away for it to be driving again, and I'm pretty excited. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.